Hello and welcome to your astrological vibrations for Tuesday, March 7th, 2023 by Gaia Blooming. I am Mimi and our energy mantra for today is I align my life and light with faith and love. And today is the day we have Saturn moving into the sign of Pisces for the next 2.5 to 3 years. Besides a brief jaunt into Aries in 2025, it will be moving out on February 13th of 2026. So between now and then, we got some strong Piscean lessons, and it is coming in tandem within an hour of a full moon in Virgo, which is the opposite sign of Pisces. And this to me is significant. I always feel like the astro is so intentional. As I watch it, I'm like, this is such a beautiful choreographed energy that is unfolding for us. And so this full moon to me, like I mentioned yesterday, is like, yes, our spiritual responsibility is going to be rocked with Saturn in Pisces. And yet we must bring that into our reality with the full moon in Virgo, which can represent our reality experienced. So let us dig in. We're going to start, I think, with the full moon, because the full moon's range is a shorter time overall than Saturn. And I guess we have the full moon prior to Saturn moving into Pisces. So the full moon brings its fullness at 4:40 a.m. Pacific time in the sign of Virgo, like I mentioned. This full moon is at 16 degrees Virgo, and it is connected. It's working in a trine with Uranus at 15 degrees. And there's some other things that kind of feed in conjunct with Chiron and Jupiter that are building into that energy in Aries, bringing the heal thyself, heal your I am energy, and of course dancing with the sun in an opposition with the sun. So this energy is powerful. I'm actually going to bring in the Sabian symbol to start, because I like it. The Sabian symbol for Virgo 16 is, in the zoo, children are brought face to face with an orangutan. And the keynote is a direct confrontation with the wild power of the primordial nature within oneself. And for Virgo 17, sometimes I like to read the next one because we kind of are bridging that energy. It is a volcanic eruption, the explosive energy of long repressed contents of the subconscious. Basically, if you cannot face your inner orangutan, if you cannot face your inner primordial nature, here comes the volcano. And if you've been watching me for a long time, I often say, tend to your volcanoes. Tend to your inner explosive potential. So I love this because this, to me, these Sabian symbols demonstrate what I'm saying to you already, that this Saturn and Pisces energy, which is addressing our spiritual so strongly, bringing the energy of responsibility to the spiritual, is reminding us we are spirits in human form. I'm hearing the Sting song, we are spirits in a material world. Is that what it is? Anyway, your inner orangutan, your inner primordial, your inner nature needs to be addressed, expressed, healed, allowed to be brought forward and present rather than smothered, controlled. And it's interesting because this is interesting to me. In some ways, Pisces to me is the most wild of the zodiac signs. And I think some Pisces listening will be like, I hear what you're saying. I get it. I feel it. And Virgo can be, sometimes, in some ways, one of the more controlled. And the Virgos are like, no, we're not. And both work within each other. And the figuring out of how to work with the Pisces and the Virgo energies can ultimately bring about miraculous healing within ourselves. Here's the thing, even if you are not Pisces, even if you are not Virgo, even if you don't have any planets in Pisces and Virgo, when you look at your chart, we have all the signs within us. We have all these energies somehow working within us. So keep this in mind, because this applies to you, even if you're like, I'm not a Pisces, it doesn't apply to me. It absolutely does. So as we learn to accept and become one with our human self, we have engaged our spiritual at the same time, in a very deep way. And it doesn't mean that you have to be sitting here meditating, and it doesn't mean that you have to be sitting here praying, and it doesn't mean that you have to sit here engaging the energy of Jesus in every other sentence. And yet, you are, because your life is a prayer to the universe. Just letting the Pisces energies feed in. Your life is a prayer to the universe. What is your prayer? How are you living this prayer? And this, to me, is what this Virgo full moon energy is about. Engaging your human self as part of your spiritual path, and living your prayer. Now, the Uranus energy is a little bit of a wild card in here, because Uranus is like, okay, but where do you need to revolutionize yourself? Where have you become stuck? Where are you stuck in conditioning? Where are you stuck in patternings? Where are you stuck in not knowing your worth? Uranus in the sign of Taurus is working that so hardcore. Where are you stuck? Not knowing your worth. Your life is a prayer, whether you know it, whether you live it that way or not. Your life is a prayer. And the universe is delighted for you to be here. So, for the full moon, what you want to be aware of is where your critical energy stops you from that presence, where your critical energy does not recognize your divinity, where you get stuck in your mind and you're spinning in your mind rather than living your life as a prayer. And again, this doesn't mean you have to be on your knees. This means live. It means taste the pizza. Be in the moment with your lovely little beloved friends. Recognize that every encounter with somebody is actually a holy encounter. When you start living as a prayer, your life, Pisces, becomes magic. So, work on this, but watch for the really strong mental critical energies popping up with the full moon in Virgo. And when you find that, recognize you can hocus pocus, direct and align your focus. Now, Saturn in Pisces. We're going to have, a nice little chunk of about 3 years to dig into this. But to get started, Saturn, the planet of responsibility, the planet of purpose, the planet of karma, and time, Father Time is Saturn in Pisces, is really interesting because Pisces is a very free-flowing sign. As I mentioned the other night, the last time Saturn was in Pisces was a little bit in 1993, then 94 to 96. I have been listening to music from 95 over the last 24 hours or so, because I was like, that's smack dab in the middle. That's really good Saturn influence. And the most powerful one was actually, that I've heard, there was several that I was like, whoa, I just heard it right before this, was Believe by Elton John. And I'm going to bring you those lyrics because it feels so Saturn in Pisces. But what is as these spirits in a human world, what is our responsibility? It is to our spirituality. It is to aligning our life on purpose with our spiritual purpose, our spiritual divine reason for being here. I think that there's going to be a lot of people waking up over this time. I think that there's a lot of people who are going to slide into religions at this time, for better or for worse, right? Some religions are wonderful, and other religions, well, some religions are wonderful, and some of those same religions also have a lot of messed up things, right? Religion is one of those, and yet we're all on this path to finding our relationship with God, universe, and I think we will find ourselves experiencing that on deeper levels. To me, Saturn in Pisces is a call to faith on a very deep layer. Now, obviously, the last few years, the world's been chaotic for a long time, but the last few years has felt even more chaotic, to me, personally. With Saturn in Pisces, the chaos will absolutely continue. And yet, how do you live your life in co-creation with the universe? I think that's one of the most important things. Recognizing that we are co-creating this thing that we see out there. All of it. And we're feeding our energy into all of it. What are you creating? Pisces is one of the most creative signs of the zodiac. Now, with all the craziness that is happening, we may find ourselves in a lot of escapism. Pisces energy can tend towards escapism. It can tend towards addiction. And so all of us need to be really aware of all the multi-layers of addiction with Saturn and Pisces. Because Saturn will be like, this is not how you do it. This is not the way forward. Media. Illusion, delusion. Pisces is also a sign that represents media, illusion, and delusion. And we have to be very aware of who we give our authority. That's another great word for Saturn, that authority energy. Who and where we give our authority over to. So, take your intuition with you. I said this a few weeks ago. Take your intuition with you. Take your discernment with you. Saturn in Aquarius helped us tune into the vibrations. That can help you in your discernment in and through these energies. Is that all I want to bring forth? I do want to bring forth again the creative note. Pisces is one of the most creative signs. I highly encourage you over this time to be creative, to feed your energy into a creation, especially when it starts feeling constricted by any of the fear, any of the drama in the world. Pisces can get kind of dramatic. It's very watery, very emotional energy. Where can you feed your waters, your holy waters? Where can you feed your creative energy in and through this? So I have a few more things. I know this is long, but this is a big astro day. So the song Believe by Elton John. Oh my God. This song has always been really powerful to me, and more so as I've gotten older, but I believe in love. It's all we've got. Love has no boundaries, costs nothing to touch. War makes money. I'm going to skip this next part. Churches and dictators, politics and papers, everything crumbles sooner or later, but love. To me, Pisces wants union with God, universe, recognizing the oneness in all of us. And the more we can cultivate that love, the more powerful we will join together over the next 3 years. I also pulled, if I can find it, a card from Rumi Oracle, and I'm like, what did I do with it? And it was just talking about the light, the strength of the light within us. Oh, Mahalo's sitting on it. Like, where is it? Let me read just a little bit of this. The dissolving light. There is a light so intense, so powerful that nothing other than itself, its own truth, can exist in its presence. It is the sacred seed, the star of your being, lit up from within. It is the light that never goes out. It is the light that is so powerful, it is beyond the duality of light and dark, and cannot ever be extinguished or diminished and quite simply beyond all logic just is. Oracle brings you the guidance. Trust in your changing perspectives and perceptions. Don't hold on to what you once believed or thought to be true. Allow yourself to be shown other versions of events, another way of perceiving. Don't focus on what is not working in your current estimation of things, for that is nothing more than a passing opinion. You are being given an opportunity to see and know yourself, others, and particular life circumstances very differently. Embrace it. Don't resist what is being shown to you, for even if there are some struggles in adjusting your view at first, this change of perception will free you and bring you more deeply into the wellspring of your own inner peace and happiness. This card feels so potent for Saturn in Pisces. And finally, these cards. Receive. The universe is speaking to you. Receive these energies. Be here now. Be present in the moment. That just being present will open you up to being able to receive. And then rest your perceptions. Bring your discernment. Rest your perceptions. We've got the breakthrough card. I do feel like this will be breakthrough for so many, depending on what you choose to focus on, and if you can bring forth that presence, that be here now, the receptivity to God and universe energy, existence, knowing your inner magic. Like I said, this is going to be a major wake-up time for so many of us. See how you wake up on Tuesday, right? I haven't even gone into any of the other astro. The other astro is just, whew, compared to all this. Finally, I do have the outsider in reverse. And I think that there is some inner child work that needs to get done on this path. That some of these places, the inner child is shut down to the magic, to God, to universe, because of the conditioning. And sometimes starting there and talking to your inner child and being like, psst, you were right. The world is magic. Let's explore it again. That might be part of that breakthrough that's coming through for you. And tuning into your inner orangutan as well. So, that is it for today. Happy full moon. Happy Saturn in Pisces. We will continue digging in as we move forward. I'm sending you all so much love. You can book a reading if you would like to dig into these energies in your chart. Email me, mimiclark@gmail.com. Besides that, the better it gets, the better it gets. There's more than enough love in the world for you. You have the power, and honor your values. Namaste.